بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. So we'll start off with the halaqah now as people are still coming back upstairs, inshallah. The topic for tonight's talk is going to be about Surah Yusuf. So on the first Friday of the month, we're going over the stories of the prophets, and we finished Shu'aib last time, and today we're starting off with the story of Yusuf alayhi salam. The story of Yusuf alayhi salam. And the purpose of this series is to gain family lessons from the stories of the prophets. So now with Yusuf alayhi salam, we'll be doing his story in 3 parts over the next 3 months, inshallah, until the end. But all of the stories will focus on independent parts of the story. So it's not like you have to be here for today in order to understand next time, inshallah. So, a quick recap of the story of Yusuf alayhi salam that we need in order to understand today's part. That is, at the very beginning, Yusuf alayhi salam, he was about 7 years old. And he saw a dream in which there was a sun, the moon, and 11 stars that were doing sajda to him, that were prostrating to him. At this, his father, Yaqub alayhi salam, he said to him, "Do not tell your brothers about this, because I worry about what may happen. Do not tell your brothers about this, because I worry about what may happen." قال يا بني لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا إن الشيطان للإنسان عدو مبين. Don't tell your brothers, because I'm afraid that they may conspire against you. And indeed, the shaitan's plot is manifest, and he's a very clear enemy to you. He's a very straightforward, clear enemy to you. So he goes back and forth talking about this aspect, right? About the conversation between Yaqub alayhi salam and Yusuf alayhi salam, and what the results of that are. Then fast forward a few ayats down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tells us that the brothers, they come together. They're a group of 10 people. They come together and they say this sentence: إِذْ قَالُوا لَيُوسُفُ وَأَخُوهُ حَبُّ إِلَىٰ أَبِينَا مِنَّا وَنَحْنُ عُصْبَةٌ إِنَّ أَبَانَا لَفِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. Very powerful. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he tells us, indeed Yusuf and his brother, they are more beloved to our father than us. Indeed, our father is misguided. Indeed, our father is clearly delusional. Why delusional? Because they call themselves usba. They're justifying it in their mind. They're giving themselves a reason to be right. So they said, we are 10 people, we're so many, and they're just 2. We give our father so many things: power, strength, numbers, a workforce. So how can he love them, or him, Yusuf, more than us? So as a result, what ended up happening? If you're familiar with the story, one of the brothers, they get together and they say, "Uqtulu Yusufa aw itrahuhu arda." Kill Yusuf, or throw him somewhere. Kill Yusuf or get rid of him in a different way. And subhanAllah, it's very, very, very clear in just the way that the ayat, they follow after one another, what the effects of this are, because that's what the talk is going to be about today. What are the effects of this? In one situation, in one scene, let's call it, the brothers of Yusuf are all together and they're telling each other, look, it's very clear, it's very straightforward. our father, Yaqub, he loves Yusuf and Binyamin, the other son, more than he loves us. Our father is delusional, meaning something is happening where he's not thinking straight. So that leads to what? Kill him. That leads to kill him. And as the entire story progresses, we know, of the many different things that happen. As a result, they get rid of him, throw him into the well. He gets sold into slavery. He moves. It's between 40 and 80 years later that he even gets to see his family again. And as we go over the rest of the story throughout the other sessions, inshallah, those parts in the middle will become clear. But for today, we're going to talk about what sibling rivalry looks like, what favoritism from the parents looks like, and what the results of that are. So, quick question. Think about the time that you were jealous for whatever reason. Think about a time that you were jealous for whatever reason, and contrast two situations. When you were jealous because of a situation with somebody that you knew versus a situation with a stranger. Which one stung more? Which one stayed with you more? Like, for example, your child gets a B in class and your nephew gets an A. Does that sting more? Or if someone is driving a Lamborghini outside, you see it for a moment, you say, I wish I had that, and then you forget about it 10 seconds later. It's usually the first one, right? When there's family, friends, someone that's close to us involved, then this is SubhanAllah. This is what ends up happening. I'm not feeling very well, so we're going to do a very quick, short version of this, and then we're going to carry on at another time, inshallah. So, Yusuf alayhi salam, he saw a dream from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and his brothers would have gotten jealous if they had known about this. So number one, what happens is his father Yaqub tells him, don't tell anyone, because if you tell them, then they're going to go and plot against you. Okay? So he tries to keep it to himself, but one way or another, the news comes out, and they get angry about this. They find out about the dream. So they try to get rid of him. What is the reason for trying to get rid of him? Because they say that our father loves Yusuf more. So this is called favoritism, or perceived favoritism, because Yaqub alayhi salam, we don't think anything negatively of him. When a parent shows one kid more love, giving them more gifts, showing them more leniency when they do something wrong, then these things, they pile up on the other children. They notice what's happening. And they think that the parent loves one child more than the other. And this has a lot of consequences. So what we know from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us and from the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam is, parents must be equitable with all children. You treat them the same. That doesn't mean that every child will get the same things, or you'll spend the exact same amount of time or give them the same things. No. Children are different in the way that children's needs are different as well. But what does that look like? If you're going to give something of value to one child, then you must give something of value to that other child in similar situations. So you want to give your 18-year-old a car, and your 11-year-old starts crying and asking for a car. Does that mean you give the 11-year-old a car? No, it's not right. It's not the right time. But you wait until they're 18. And if you are in the position to be able to do so. So you are equitable with them. But you don't give everything to one child and then tell the other child, you go figure it out by yourself. That's what favoritism is. Now, perceived favoritism is something different. That means it's not actually going on, but the child thinks that it's going on. For our purposes, this doesn't even matter. Let me say that again. For our purposes, the parents' intentions and their actual actions don't matter. Because perceived favoritism is just as destructive as actual favoritism. So if a child thinks that one parent loves the other one more, then this will cause the problems in their relationship amongst the other children. So kids who feel like they're less loved than others inside of the home, they have a slew of problems. They have so many different issues that occur. And this is from research shows. I had a lot planned for today, and I think I'm just going to redo this halaqah next time. قدر الله ما شاء فعل. Because this topic, I was waiting for this topic actually. If you, I don't think anyone will remember, but during the second class in this series, I was talking about the two sons of who? If it's a second class in this series of the prophets, who are they talking about? The two sons of Adam. Excellent. Of Adam. And one killed the other. And I was talking about some things about siblings at that point, but I said we're going to wait till we get to Yusuf so that I can talk about this. During my master's, I did an entire research paper on parental differential treatment, which is what happens when a parent treats children differently, whether it's real or perceived. And I have a lot of things to share, but for right now, I'm not able to. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala for forgiveness. So we'll end off with this first point, and then we'll redo this at another time, inshallah. Perception matters just as much as reality. Perception matters just as much as reality. What happened with Yusuf alayhi salam's situation was that the children, they had gotten together and they talked to one another. They said something. Someone started off the conversation and it escalated. This is the way that Quranic storytelling works. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just tells us these two ayat, but we infer the rest of what happened. They all came together as a group and they said to one another that, which eventually escalated to the point that Yusuf alayhi salam is more special than we are, and our father, despite all of these valid reasons for why he should love us more, loves Yusuf more. So then that escalated even more to, let's kill him. But what we know is Yaqub alayhi salam, he loved all of his children. He was a prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he's not going to commit a sin, right? And favoritism towards just one child in a way that is visible to them is sinful. So of course he wasn't doing this. But what did happen was that the other children thought that he loved them more, and it resulted in this issue. So what are some of the issues that can occur? I mentioned some of them, that these kids, as they grow up, they have difficulties forming relationships with other people. They have difficulties forming relationships with other people as a result. They don't have good relationships with their strongest bond, their siblings, so it's difficult for them to have relationships with other people. These kids are much more likely to have anxiety problems and depression. these kids are much more likely to have issues in school and engage in risk behaviors, which most of them are haram things that that they shouldn't do. But all of this is why, essentially, think about it this way: they feel like their parent doesn't love them enough. The only time a parent gives attention to their kid then is when they're in trouble. Excellent. When they're in trouble. So the child keeps on seeing this over and over again. Oh, if I do something bad, then I'll get some time with my dad. If I do something bad, I'll get some time with my dad. I'm sick, I just made that up. No one's laughing. Give me a few pity laughs, please. Jazakallah khair. Brother Rajab, mashallah. This is an example to follow. So, what does the kid do? If the only thing he does is the only way he can get attention is by doing bad things, he's just going to keep on doing bad things until a point comes where you normalize that. Oh, this is that kid, this is what he does. So then he has to start doing worse things and worse things and worse things and worse things in order to keep your attention. Right? So this is essentially what it is. That person, that child who grows up into this adult, has this problem of trying to please everyone around him because he didn't get his parents' attention and affection. So this is just one problem of showing, of not being careful in how you represent your love. Because at the end of the day, the truth is, no one can be completely equal in how much they love another person. It's impossible. Love is something that's inside of the heart. You cannot control that, but you can control your actions, and that is that first point. So again, I apologize for not being able to finish, but we'll end off there and then continue, inshallah. Next time, the lesson here is perception is reality. So the way that we treat children and the way that children believe, they live in their own world. So don't think that just because you're not explicitly doing something, that they don't think that it's happening. And inshallah, with that, many lessons can be made and you can infer on those. هذا وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.